Welcome to Nobby on Cars. I'm in the revised version of the 2022 Toyota Camry today. We're still dealing with the 2.5 litre petrol engine. That is a hybrid, a self-charging hybrid. It will do. I've actually noticed it change compared to the last version of the Camry, which was about 5.5 litres per 100 kilometres. Now the Camry is achieving about 6 in my driving this week, although the needle barely moves. The price of the Camry has increased though. You can spend between 44,000 and 48,000 euro depending if you want a Sol version or if you want a Platinum version. Platinum gets a little bit of a bigger screen, nicer alloys. I think the cream interior does make it feel a bit of a classier car, but you can obviously get it in all black if you like. Now I have to be honest with you, the majority of new Camrys I've seen have been driven by taxi drivers, and I've seen bright colours in them, and I think that says a lot, because if a car can be driven by a taxi driver, it either means it's really reliable, it's relatively cheap to run, and it's comfortable. And I think all of those things are true about the Camry. After all, you're kind of in a car that's technically a Lexus, but just doesn't have a Lexus skin going on. So it is that same engine with the CVT gearbox. Very, very quiet, very, very smooth. The only time you will hear it make any sort of a fuss is if you're hard accelerating, but again, that's just the style of these cars. That's how they work. As a workhorse though, the Camry really has never been better. Ride quality is excellent, handling is good. There's also a good sized boot in the Camry. You've got lots of space for legs in the back seat with good charging options. In fact, there's more charging options in the back than the front. You do have wireless charging. My issue though is, and here's my OtterBox, you've got to take that off to be able to charge the device, which is a little bit annoying because the whole point is keeping them in there, and actually the case kind of offers a little bit of resistance to it moving around, and when it's out of that you don't really get that. I'm sure you know this by now, but just in case you don't, Toyota have done a deal with Android and Carplay, so you'll get wireless CarPlay in the car. You can use the cable obviously as well, should you wish. And as a workhorse of a car, it's really hard to fault it, to be honest with you, because as long as I've been around, the Camry was a prestigious version of a Toyota. That hasn't changed. I mean, it doesn't have velour seats anymore as it did in the late 80s and early 90s, but it is a very, very capable car. I do think maybe for the money, there's other things around there, but will you get the same just longevity out of it? You're in something that you just know is going to go forever and ever and ever and ever. Everything's well put together. Yeah, it's a bit hard and plasticky in parts, and you know, you're not going to get overly excited about the interior or maybe the looks. Silver certainly isn't probably the colour for it. It's just a little bit dull. Certainly that bright kind of bluey purpley colour that you can get. I've seen it in quite a nice red as well. Looks kind of like a winey red. They're nice colours for the car. By the way, in case you're wondering, that's not a child behind me there. That's a doll that's been left in the back of this car because it's perfect for transporting families. Now, the design of the boot, the way it opens with the saloon boot going on, you could benefit from a wider opening, and you could fit more things into it. So it goes back far, all right, but just that mouth. Sometimes saloon cars do suffer from that, and it makes getting things in a little bit tricky. Spec-wise in the Platinum though, you get heated seats, air-cooled seats, heated steering wheel, blind spot, frontal collision avoidance, speed sign recognition. There's an awful lot of things going on that will just help you be safe on the roads. So it does come very, very well spec'd for the price of the car. Yes, there are things like BMW 5 Series, Audi A6s, but you probably won't get them for that kind of price, certainly not new. And bearing in mind you're at the kind of top of the spec at that 47-ish, €1,000 in the Camry. So you're kind of getting all the toys for that kind of money. If your car just isn't needed to do any sort of fuss for you, you just want a car that gets you around in comfort, maybe you are a taxi driver considering one of these, maybe you drive a taxi and you have one, just leave some comments below as to what your experience of the Camry has been. It's I don't want to say it's no frills because it's not a cheap car, but it won't miss a beat for you. And if you're not that kind of caught up in badges and kudos in the car park in Tesco, then the Camry will suit into your lifestyle. No one's going to look at you twice, you know, but you'll still be in something very, very capable, and it'll help you kind of just sit under the radar. I don't think people will even have an idea of what the car costs, really, to be honest with you. So if you want to blend in car life, you could do an awful lot worse than the Camry, I think. By the way, if you want to watch more in-depth review of the car, I'll hit the link for you here to check it out. And not a huge amount has changed in the car since then. It still gives you a vibe of what this next generation of Camry is like to live with. I actually think the fuel economy, though, on the previous pre-facelift version is actually a little bit better. It's usually gone the other way around. Anyway, thank you for coming with me this far on this Toyota Camry review here on Nobby on Cars. Ways to support us in the links below. Comment, of course, like, share, subscribe. Anything you do in that way is really appreciated. That's how you can help support the channel. And thank you very much for watching.